Hello all, my name is Pavan and welcome to my YouTube channel SPK Arts. So in this video I want to show how I painted myself from scratch till the end, from taking a photograph and then sketching it and then painting it. So you can just follow the similar procedure to get similar results. So without wasting time, let's get started. So for photo I recorded a video of myself so that I can screenshot anywhere which I find good enough to paint. And then I started sketching it on the paper. I don't use any tracing methods. I just do a freehand sketch with rough proportions. So my sketch is not accurate to the scale. I just sketch freehand. I actually find it easy to paint freehand instead of using any grid methods or tracing methods, because freehand sketch allows you to it gives you the freedom to sketch in your own proportions instead of following a particular method. It might look like it is difficult to get exact proportions or exact features when you are sketching freehand, but with a few portrait practices you can master it. I can't say that I have mastered it now, but I can bring maximum features from the photograph. And now you can see that this portrait slowly starts to take shape. It slowly starts to look like me. So whoever knows me, whoever looks at my photograph can look at this sketch and immediately recognize that this is me. So this is not some rocket science. You can master it too with just a few practice methods. And now with the sketching of my hair, it is very much evident that this is me. So it gives a complete look to the portrait. So now I started painting my portrait. I'm starting with my darker tones to predefine the area which is going to be in shadow. And now I start painting my eyes. So I usually don't paint my eyes before. I paint my eyes after painting the skin tone. But for this portrait I want to try something unique. One tip I want to tell to all the fellow painters is, if you are painting any portrait of anyone or portrait of yourself, if you can get the eyes correct, if you can get the proportions, if you can make it appear as real, then you are successful in painting your portrait. Because what the life force of a person is in his eyes. If you can paint the eyes correctly, you brought the features. Anyone can recognize that this person is so and so. So now I'm moving to the eyebrows. I'm moving now to the lips. I'm using a darker tone to paint my lips, the upper lip, and a lighter tone to paint my lower lip. And by now the painting has begun to take shape. It is resembling me, and now it is the time to play with colors. So I start using midtones and highlights randomly, playing with colors. So for skin tones I am using yellow ochre, red, burnt umber, that is brown, and white in various proportions. So for lighter tones I am using more white, and for darker tones I am using more red and brown. So for midtones I am adding a little bit of yellow. I am not particularly following any method here. I am just randomly playing with colors, experimenting what the colors can do. And one thing I have realized in all these months of painting is, don't paint for the end product, paint for the sake of fun. An artist sees the end product before it is a reality. He sees it in his mind and then he brings out into reality. And what you have pictured in your mind is, if it's not matching with the actual outcome, it's okay. You don't have to be completely perfect. You just have to keep on painting. I have painted more than 300-400 paintings to know the basics. I mean, painting is such a fun thing to do. You don't have to become the best painter in the world overnight. You just have to paint for the sake of fun. So now I am painting my beard and my hair. So for the color of my beard, I am using burnt umber and ultramarine blue. You can use any brown and any blue to get this black color. So many artists suggest that you shouldn't use direct black. I understand that, but I use black in my paintings. I use black with a mixture of brown or a mixture of blue so that it is not completely black. So it gives you some scope to show that color in your painting. So coming to my hair, I have a curly hair. So I am moving my brush in wavy patterns randomly to give that effect of curliness. So I am using a mixture of brown and blue in various proportions, and sometimes I am using black here and there. So I am not particularly following any specific pattern. I am just playing with colors, moving my brush in wavy patterns, and then using a tinge of white here and there to give the effect of light falling on my hair. And for the background, I am using bright red mixed with orange. I am using in various proportions here and there. So some parts of the background is more reddish and some parts are more orangish. And I am using a mixture of yellow ochre here and there. So some parts look more yellowish to give a spectrum of background, so that the background will not be completely bland with a specific color. It's not completely red or it's not completely black or brown. So I am using the colors in various proportions to give a background a liveliness. I am moving my brush in a certain style to give a life to the background. And now coming to my shirt, I am thinking of painting my shirt in a darker color. So I am highlighting my darker shadowy part so that I can move from dark to light. So I'm using a mixture of black mixed with blue and a tinge of white. So I add a little bit of white whenever I have to do highlights, and I use a little bit of black when I am painting the shadow parts. So in that way, I can clearly distinguish between light and shadow. And a few final highlights here and there around my hair to give it a finished look. And after everything, this is how the painting looks like. This is the final painting. The colors are good, the background is good, the shirt color looks familiar to what I wore now. So it is very much identical to me. Anyone can recognize that this is me, except one small change. I think now anyone can recognize that this is me. So I hope you all like this video. Thank you.